How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video as the Activision Blizzard case continues to drag on. It seems the CMA yet isn't content, and Microsoft has decided to get the extension pushed back as far as October the 18th. Now, if you remember back, October 18th was a date mentioned by Beard, Microsoft's lawyer, but no justification was provided as they weren't in a position to be able to provide reasonings or actual, outcomes for this decision. But the decision has come out. There has been increases to the amount of monetary costs that this will be entailing. And should this deal break up, instead of the $3 billion Microsoft would have actually had to pay out, now it's up to $5 billion. Now, contrary to what the actual shareholders wanted, they actually wanted a lot more money to renegotiate, but it seems they had to settle with a 99-cent dividend that was ready to be provided to them with immediate effect from the actual profits that Activision Blizzard made. Now, that in itself is another matter entirely, and we'll go into that a little bit as well, but the actual decision here from the CMA needs to resolve quickly, but will it? And that is the key point here. At the moment, there are people who, like Florian Mueller, who say that he's got full faith in the CMA. I, on the other hand, have absolutely no faith in the CMA at all, personally. They haven't given me any reason to actually provide them the benefit of the doubt, other than them being completely and utterly unreasonable when it comes to this case. But let's get into it. So as you can see here, we have 3-month extension to October the 18th. US 99 cents dividend payable now, termination fee up from 3 to 5 billion. So effective deal price now is $96 per share. And the actual shareholders wanted this somewhere in the region of 110 per share. So that was actually put back, which you can understand why, because that would have increased the value of this deal going through exponentially. But I think if this actually gets extended further, which there is a chance it could happen, I'm fully aware that the FTC has a court case on August the 2nd, which they're going to probably want to push through, even though if I was them at this point, I would probably go the other way. But this is the FTC, so anything they do is completely and utterly unpredictable. We did just have another appeal in the US with the gamers lawsuit. Justice Keegan has just rejected a long-shot emergency request that was filed by gamers trying to block the Microsoft Activision merger. These PlayStation gamers are getting absolutely desperate. Like, where are they finding all this money? They should have at least recruited someone like the Red Dragon. Oh shit. Florian Mueller. Damn, shots fired. Shots fired. I like that. I like that. That was shots fired right there. I said it wasn't worth discussing because it wouldn't get traction. There we are. But gamers who are not in the driver's seat cannot accurately be described as those who bought the ridiculous petition. As you can see here, Microsoft and Activision have extended the agreement. Shareholders get a dividend right now, and the termination fee has increased. Higher fee, 66% increase, shows there's no serious concern on Microsoft's part. Well, there is, because the shareholders wanted $110, but Microsoft were willing to negotiate it down to 96. Dividend is fast and simple solution. No need for shareholders vote. As for October being a bit far out, such as this person here, the CMA said the new decision would be made by August 29th at the latest. So I think the merger will be completed by the time of Gamescom. That would actually be really cool, because it would be nice of them to come out in Gamescom and say, hey everyone, these are the games we're doing, but look at this. Activision Blizzard games now on Game Pass. Go crazy. But as they were going to extend, the cushion makes sense. Now, it makes sense for the cushion because it just means that they don't have to renegotiate. But from what Florian was saying, this 29th that the CMA has said at the very latest, and they're going to try and do it earlier as well, could actually elapse by a couple of weeks even then, in the event that they want to actually go and seek public opinion on whether they think this is a good deal or not, or the suggestion that's in place is good for consumers or not. I mean, at this point, I don't understand why they're adding more to the actual pot. I know they have to do their job, but the reality is, if it's being divested, it's being divested. The cloud system is being given to EE, who's going to have their own monopoly now, so they can deal with them. I mean, they're literally taking something away that isn't a monopoly and giving it to someone else to create a monopoly. You tell me how that actually makes any sense, because no other landline provider in the UK is going to have access to cloud gaming, and it's BT and EE, who are merged together, going to be doing deals that provide you with cloud gaming access for a whole year on top of their broadband, unlimited broadband. You bet your money they will. But will Virgin or will TalkTalk be able to provide you with such services? Nuh-uh. What does that tell you? That is a monopoly. They pretty much control the cloud gaming market when it comes to telecommunications. But the CMA is perfectly okay in creating a monopoly when there isn't one in the first place. Cloud gaming isn't a monopoly in the UK right now. You've got people, especially in the telecommunications place, right now when it comes to the gaming sphere, you've got GeForce Now, who are the main proprietors. Then you've got xCloud, which is a bolt-on service that only applies to Xbox on the highest tier of their subscription service. You've got other services that are in the EU and the UK, such as Boosteroid, that are available. You've got Amazon Luna, which is also available. Google sadly decided to yeet themselves out of existence with the Cloud Stadia, so they're gone. But the reality is, right now in the cloud sphere, there are options, and each of these have got the games that are coming to them, and when the deal goes through, they will all have an equal footing in actually getting those games on their platform and, competing with each other. Now, when it comes to the telecommunications aspect, the CMA has created a monopoly because only EE will have access to this, no one else. Can someone please explain to me how that makes any sense? Anyway, moving on. So as we can see here, the date is the 29th. They have said that they're going to try and close this as soon as possible. Now, the claim for harm to consoles or to the players, that's dead. That's not even in question anymore. That was resolved, and with with Sony signing the deal, that has well and truly been laid to rest. What is over here is regarding cloud, cloud only, and with that aspect being divested from Microsoft with the proposal, there's literally nothing stopping this deal from going through, just that the CMA is persistent in delaying what they want to do and how they want to go about it. Now, we do have this over here, which is quite important. So they're saying up to 5 million, right? So this is how it works. The company waived any right to the parent termination fee during the waiver period, after which the parent termination fee, if payable under the Merger Agreement Act, after August 29, 2023, shall be increased from 3 billion to 3.5 billion. Now that's a little shy from the 5 billion that they're talking about. Now, if it doesn't close on the 29th of August, 3.5 billion will then get increased to 4.5 billion. That basically, if the August 29th date is missed, they've got till September 15th as the next available date. Now, if that date is missed as well, they'll have to pay additional fees after October the 18th, which is the date that the agreement was set to, and that will equal up to a maximum of 500 million. 500 million plus 4.5 billion equals the $5 billion. Now, of course, they can extend this October 18th deal again. Why would they want to? At this point, I'm pretty sure you guys are sick of it. Everyone else is sick of it, but the CMA still continues to want to bloody Microsoft's nose. I think they've pretty much achieved what they wanted to achieve. They've managed to get, Microsoft to shell out more money, and they've made Microsoft bend the knee. But what I can see is that if the CMA decides to play hardball and doesn't decide, and decides to make more problems, create things that aren't there, put barriers in place that shouldn't be there, make up things that will delay the process even more, I can honestly see them after August the 29th just closing the deal. I can't see Microsoft wanting to pay any more money. The additional 3.5 and 4.5 billion that's currently there is just like a safety net for the shareholders, so they can get, be satisfied that they're going to get even more money, because that's exactly what they're waiting for. But honestly, if this doesn't go through by August the 29th, and considering after the information that, the Honorable Judge Marcus Smith actually put forward, that this needs to close and you lot need to come to a resolution, I can't see it being past August 29th. It's a real shame, because right now, I think, had the FTC and the CMA in December just agreed and moved forward, everyone around the world would have access to Activision Blizzard games, and the gaming community, in my opinion, would be better for it. Those games wouldn't have come off the PlayStation platform. Even the future games would have been on there, because that was the original agreement. All Activision Blizzard games on the Sony PlayStation platform as well. There was nothing going to come off. But with the ruling now, they've only got guaranteed Call of Duty. They've actually got a far worse deal. And this is all because of Sony's pig-headedness in general. But the reality is, all the CMA has done has made it a worse situation for the consumers. For the player, they've provided a worse offer for them. They've put, everyone in a position where they've made the deal worse, which is exactly the opposite of what the CMA and the FTC are supposed to do. But they gave Microsoft that power. And if you give a giant corporation that sort of leverage, what do you expect them to do? Like I said, Microsoft and Sony don't give two craps about anyone. All they care about is that plastic in your wallet, right? They care about your money. They want you to pay your subscription fee or to buy your $70 games or £70 games, wherever you are in the world. They just want your money, and they're all vying for your money. Especially in this economic climate, the average person isn't going to go and buy, 5 games per day. They're probably going to buy 1 game every 2-3 months at that. So they're vying for your money. They're not your friends. But what the CMA and the FTC did was they gave Microsoft such power, such leverage, that they could actually be now offer that to Sony, and Sony doesn't have a choice but to sign it. And they have signed it. So it is what it is. But this August 29th is going to be really interesting. We did have that date yesterday in regards, the actual trial, the trial hearing, whatever you want to call it, yesterday. That in itself actually was very telling of where, Marcus Smith actually, the Judge Marcus Smith actually stood and how it's going forward. But the merger, delay, extension, whatever you want to call it, is done. It is now set to October the 18th. I can't see it passing that date. I'm hoping that it will be done before August the 29th, so we can have a massive Gamescom announcement from Microsoft, because I think the players, the community actually needs it. And if the CMA is at any point in their timeline being genuine and truthful and want to work things out, this divestiture that Microsoft has offered should be the way to go. And that's pretty much it where we are right now. The divestiture, once agreed and once they've seen the divestiture in place, and xCloud is no longer part of Microsoft Corporation, and it's part of UK Communications Cloud, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to keep calling it that until it has an official name, because it's going to be under EE and their new monopoly. Well, then the whole aspect of the CMA, their whole case with Microsoft is over. And at that point, they can close the deal. Microsoft does not want to close over the CMA. They absolutely do not want to do that, because they do want to do more acquisitions. And if they close over the CMA, you can guarantee that the next acquisition that Microsoft tries to do, they're going to basically be a pain in the ass, a pain in the side, whatever you want to call it. They're going to be putting, objections and interventions and restrictions all over the place. Because Google, Amazon, Microsoft, these big companies, Apple, these are all major companies that have heavy scrutiny anytime they do any form of acquisition. You don't want any more than scrutiny than you're already getting. So by working with the CMA, complying with the CMA, and coming to an agreement with the CMA, making the CMA not look weak and actually, show that the CMA was doing their job, and that you've both come to an agreement with the divestiture at the CMA's request, and that now meets the approval of the CMA, it shows that the CMA's process is working and that they are doing what they're intending. And at that point, I guess the assumption is when they go to buy other publishers in, say, 6 months' time, well, at that point, the friction between the CMA and Microsoft won't be as bad, and they'll have a better relationship going forward because they were able to get this through. Now, the FTC is a completely other different matter. That I'm not even getting into. Right, that's it. Merger, the merger is put on hold for the time being. It's a shame. Hopefully by Gamescom it will be done. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I'll see you next time. Remain legend.